Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Montez McCamish from itsmontez.com, and you know, as it always goes, I'm out giving you all some great content. Something's going to lift you up and bring you out somewhere. You can always follow me on itsmontez.com on all social media sites. Yes, I just got a Facebook put up. Actually, there's no followers on it at all. So why don't you all go over there and help me grow? Anyway. On this interview, you can see at the title, it's Mr.5th, FSC Radio, and itsmontez.com. We're looking to do a whole lot of collaboration with each other. Not only that, Mr.5th has submitted music to FSC Radio. FSC Radio liked the record, so they're going to speak about the record and how it went and who exactly is on the record. Without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Mr.5th. And Mr.5th, go ahead and introduce yourself, tell them who you are, and give it a spin.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am Mr.5th the DJ, industry A&R record-breaking DJ, Vertigo Midwest, Vertigo ATL, official Vertigo street team for Vertigo, also Vertigo artist to DJ relations. Right now, what we're going to be covering and we're going to talk about a little bit is the record Mr. Go Get It, featuring BZ, the song called I'm Jugging, which has kind of sparked a couple things when I've done the leak. There's a DJ Quan, up in New York. He actually got a good feel of the record when he played it at Jay-Z's 4040 Club last weekend. Also, it's been a good feel of the record down here in Atlanta, Georgia. We're getting good feedback from it from Orlando, Alabama, Ohio, Cincinnati, Ohio, and even in your area, Louisville and Radcliffe, Kentucky. To add to that, we did some social media networking, and that included Mr. Radio Raheem here, which we'll talk to him and bring him in a second, which is FSC Radio. He gave his spin on it. He actually put it in his database. And everything, seems to be going good. Now, granted, the Mr. Go Get It is a artist that's been doing music for a minute. He does have some more singles that does okay, but this particular record kind of tends towards the fight party, the Conor McGregor and the Mayweather fight. It's getting a lot of circulation. A lot of people kind of like jump right on the song. Has a real catchy, nice bottom end, low end. The hook is real catchy, real more simplified. I think, far as lyric is concerned, I'm not going to say it was like an overstated lyrical song, but it's a song that's catered to a particular market or a particular event. And once again, I'm going to say it's real catchy. To add to that, the record is also on vertigo.com and Mr. Go Get It. If you don't have the record, for everybody's listening, you can go on www.mrgogetit.com. He has his own website. You can also go on any one of my social media pages. You can possibly find a link. You can easily find me at Twitter, Mr.5th the DJ, Instagram, Mr.5th the DJ, and I have several Facebook pages related to Mr.5th the DJ. One, Mr.5th the DJ ATL, Mr.5th the DJ Vertigo, Mr.5th the DJ Muscle Mixtapes, and you can also learn a little bit more about me, what I do, and the process that I deal with, as far as working with independent artists. To lead to that is I do break independent artists. This is one artist I am breaking. There are several statutories and separate stats that I can say and things that I do when it comes to that. I go city to city. I network with other DJs and filling them out when it comes to listening to the record that I bring or the artist that I bring. I also have my wife, Miss 5th. She's the co-host or the host of any artist or of any event that I do. It's not just show related or individually party related. Is whatever the case may be. We're breaking an artist. It could be on the street. It could be a block party, private party, strip club. You name it, you claim it. If we're working, if I'm out here working, breaking a record, I could be doing anything. I could be in any city, any location, any state. We do have a street team affiliates. It ranges from 40 to 75, depending on the location or area. It ranges, I would say, probably 5 to 8 states. And right now, all those affiliates that we have on our street team are very in support of this particular record. That being said, for any other artist that wants that type of support or wants that type of work to get out of us, it's real simple. Just go to any one of my social media pages. It's Mr.5th the Dj.com. I'm sorry, it will be at Mr.5th the Dj.com. I'm getting that set up, but social media will be Mr.5th the DJ on Twitter, IG, and Facebook. You can easily send me an inbox. If you have any issues with that, you can just simply Google me. But we provide several services. I'm also down in with Goyak Promotions, which is he services Atlanta and Alabama, which is I think 7 counties down there, ranging from Russell County, Pike County, Bullitt County, Flush County. I can't remember all the counties. I don't have our list, but we cover a big range of areas. We also work with internet radio stations like FSC Radio with Radio Raheem, who's also on the line. We also deal with FM stations as well, and various other internet radio stations and other promotion entities, in different parts of the country. So, if any artists, I'm saying, that's watching this and they want to be a part of that movement, or they want some of those services in particular, we can get into that, off the air or in futuristically. So right now I want to kind of let Mr. Raheem kind of give his spin on everything. I kind of mute my mic, and Mr. Raheem from FSC Radio, you can go ahead and kind of bring yourself up to speed with everybody that's listening, sir.
Thank you, listeners. This is Raheem. Radio Raheem is what you can refer to me by. I am the owner of FSC Radio, and FSC Radio is a platform that helps independent artists that's looking to get showcased. We basically help folks to, get them out in the forefront and to have people to kind of connect independent artists to the right channels. Our station has been broadcasting for since 2009 under different platforms. We're currently on the right structure that we feel as though will propel things in the future. And we've been broadcasting a lot of independent artists for years. I think the total gets up to about 1,000. Some of the artists that come to mind that kind of sticks out is an artist by the name of Sinat. That connection came through an organization called Producers United, which basically that's their goal too, is to kind of grant independent artists up and coming that platform to actually receive exposure. One artist that kind of sticks out that's basically in a world of his own, which is good anyway, is an artist by the name of Token. Now, Token is about 15 years old, well, 17 right now, but his first album was debuted when he was 15. Token is now doing tours with Hobson, and the last thing he kind of, basically the last thing he did to kind of like shock a lot of people was he was on a Sway show last year, about like April, whatever. He did like 100-bar spit that kind of like blew a lot of artists that was basically competing for that exposure spot. And he was raved about. And then, of course, he's linked up with a manager now that helped him to get on that platform. But he's pretty much being talked about right now. And right now he's currently doing tours. But there are a few other artists that come to mind, some that can kind of be underrated, but I'm looking to make that a reality to kind of bring them to the forefront. But Token is one that comes to mind, artist by the name of Sinat. There's an artist by the name of Righteous, is on a lot of different platforms. And there's a few other artists, but we can talk in detail behind the scenes in terms of that.
Well, so like we're getting into this interviews, ladies and gentlemen. Again, like this is going to be something that's going to be launched out for everyone else. If you're looking, like they said, if you're looking to get some kind of promotion, if you're looking for that street promotion, if you're looking for branding tips, if you're looking for these kinds of things, the plugs are in there. Again, Twitter is a major platform. Maybe we'll, on my end, I'd like to speak about Twitter and how it's been applying for you all before we go into the spin or to the conversation of how Mr. Raheem felt about the record of Mr. Go Get It. I'm joking. So as far as before we go inside of that, I just want to know from you all, how has Twitter kind of like effectively helped you all work through this business? And again, like I know, I know exactly what you all have been through, but can you all share that with the audience? And then after that, please go into what was the feedback on the record? How did you all see the feedback through the Twitter feed? Were you all able to analyze that? Go ahead. Someone's on mute. All right.
Montez, is that what you mean?
Yeah. Whoever wants to go first, just go ahead. Mr.5th might ask him. Just whoever wants to go first. How's Twitter helped you go into these transitions? How's it really helped?
I'll start first. Twitter has really helped to kind of like grant exposure. Granted, we're not primarily on Twitter. We're primarily on Facebook and I'm sorry, just a little tired. Sorry, Twitter. Thought you were referring to YouTube, but anyway, Twitter. I would say Twitter is a great platform in terms of allowing folks to collaborate a lot faster than Facebook. When I first started with Facebook, it was more along the lines of people posting food and food getting thousands and thousands of retweets. Whereas though you have folks who are posting about things that are relevant, such as news, such as music, such as world events. I find that, and a lot of other people have agreed in terms of on scales bigger than me, that Twitter is faster in terms of reporting current events, even in terms of their hashtags that are trending. You go to Facebook, it's slow before Facebook get a response. But of course, Facebook is the dominant platform in terms of social media, as well as sharing your stuff amongst different groups. That's something that Facebook has Twitter beat on. Because in my experience, just sharing two tweets I've shared. One was to thank everyone who liked my channel, and that tweet kind of reached platforms of Steve Harvey, but that was by accident. And then of course, another tweet was sharing stuff from our rock and metal show, and I've seen that Twitter, just one tweet reach about 1,000 people, just with a small campaign. So for the most part, Twitter is fast, but as I said, in terms of like Facebook groups, they kind of got Twitter beat on that aspect. But in terms of posts and basically advertising things on Twitter, Twitter kind of got Facebook beat. My mic is muted.
All right, I'll jump in there and add a little spin on that. To add to that, when you were talking about, as far as getting information out there, as far as it did for me, when I started with Facebook, and if anybody follows Mr.5th the DJ, I always put a lot of information up. Right now, this is the most current. Everybody knows that people that do know who I am, they know I'm Vertigo. You know what I'm saying? So I put a lot of things up on Facebook. What I found that happened with Facebook is it became more localized. Facebook has a 5,000 friend limit. So what I did is I created my like pages, which is limitless. So I was actually able to gain more people and more people to follow me via my like pages. So to add to what Mr. Raheem said, Facebook is much faster, or has Twitter beat when it comes to, in retrospect, of, you know, being more quick and directive. But in terms of volume and creating new people, Twitter is limitless. You know what I mean? You know, you could just pretty much loop yourself into anybody, whether you know them or not. And next thing you know, out of maybe 50 people, you may gain 10 followers just to, you know, to see what you have, what you're doing to bring it to the table. But as far as the speed of everything, and depending on who you're friends with on Facebook, which you have to filter nowadays, Facebook is much faster, more direct. But the like pages on Facebook are even more better because you can actually add more content and you can put it up faster, and you can even tag, and you don't have to worry about the limits when it comes to the friends. But on your own account on Facebook, there's a 5,000 friend limit, which that kind of blocks people. And to get around that, I created the like pages, and I noticed that I have X amount of friends or followers on this particular page, the same on this particular page, on this particular page, and which are different people. I don't even have an overlap. So I thought that was a good thing. So when it comes to me doing my social media blast and getting everything out there, yes, I do Facebook. I have all of them linked together, all 3 channels. But then I go to Twitter, and I can do the exact same thing one time, and I can almost match what I do on Facebook via 3 times. So it all depends on how you look at it. Also, the thing about Twitter is I can connect to DJs faster because there are more DJs on Twitter, more radio stations on Twitter, and that's how I got contact with Mr. Raheem at FSC, amongst some other radio stations that's online. You know, it's more directive. I got a much faster response. I was able to dialogue more, you know what I'm saying? So it has its advantages and disadvantages. You can't, you know, although you could do Twitter live, the screen activity as far as Twitter is not quite the same. I don't know if they're going to improve that. You know what I mean? It's more link based as far as pictorial based. I also find, because I also use Instagram too, I also find that, you know, me using Instagram has also been just as effective. I don't think Instagram has a limit, but it's just as effective, I would say, as Facebook to a degree, as far as getting some fast information out there. But once again, when it comes to Instagram, it all depends on your followers. But if you leave your account public and open, you can actually gain some people just from pictorial information, flyer information. So it's actually helped me a great deal, especially over the past 2 years, because, you know, at one time I was more, and I've talked to Montez about this, I was more direct when it comes to my promoting. So I incorporated my social media, and Instagram was one of them. And after I, you know, got more involved in Instagram along with Twitter, I saw my numbers start to go up, but they really exploded more with Twitter faster than anything. You know, it's not like I got, you know, 5 figures on Twitter, but the reach and the response I get back from Twitter, as far as people that's more serious in the music industry related when it comes to DJs and artists, and, you know, public people like yourself, or that does interviews itself like yourself, Montez, I was able to dialogue and get much more direct, quicker responses. So yes, I would say Twitter has done a great deal for Mr.5th the DJ and my social media campaign over the years.
Now, how about your music submission to FFC Radio? How was that? And tell me, was it a smooth transition when you went to submit the music to FFC Radio? The Jurgen record for Mr. Go Get It. Was this a smooth transition? Was it something that's frustrating? I mean, tell me about that.
Yeah, the transition was easy. You know, I just simply reached out to FSC Radio Raheem. That being said, I told him I believe I told him I had a record I like for him to hear. It's a good fight party record. He was very open to that. You know, which and it was fast, actually, believe it or not. It was a very fast response. He actually gave me a quick response, and he told me he liked the record right away. So you know, that intrigued me. And in lieu of that, DJ Quan during that same week also gave me a fast response too, from New York, which he lives in Times Square. So, you know, the bounce, and these are East Coast. These guys are on the East Coast, and, you know, I'm down south in Atlanta. Mr. Go Get It is in the Southwest. And I was like, man, you know what I mean? The song is really moving. And I got the good response here in Atlanta, and he's giving me his spin on it, and it was quick and fast. And I was like, you know, I mean, I was much appreciative of that, and so was Mr. Go Get It. Unfortunately, we can't get him on the line. He's on family reunion. He's at a family reunion down in Shreveport, and the signal doesn't work that good. Other than that, we have him on the line. We give his take on that as well. But I thought the transition with FSC Radio via Twitter was exceptionally fast and swift. To answer your question, yes.
Now I want to go into the process of thinking. How was the impressions and reactions for Radio Raheem? How was the impressions and reactions for your turnaround whenever you pushed the record out, when you heard the record? What did you think about the record?
Well, when I first got the record for Mr. Go Get It, he just, you know, he's not a artist that's like, hey man, you know, I got the hottest record out here, blah, 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 blah. You know, he was just like, hey man, I sent you a new single. Tell me what you think. And I heard the record. Me and my wife, Mr.5th, listened to the record. DJ Barry Nickel, who runs the street team operations in Cincinnati, Ohio, Central Ohio, and Northern Kentucky. We all sat down. Well, me and the wife first, and I took it to him, emailed it to him. And, you know, just the people within my circle was like, man, that song was hot. You know, of course, my opinion, I take my opinion very serious because I've been, you know, dabbling in music for a while. But, you know, I was like, man, you know, I don't think he actually realized how powerful and how much of movement the record was. And atypical, most artists really don't know. You know, they just kind of get caught in the moment when they're actually doing a song. They feel that type of feel. And then after that, it's just like going to the store, buying groceries, and come home. That rush is over, it is over and done. But I had to elaborate on him the very next day. I said, man, I think you might have something. And to add more to that, leading on to that week, I was like, you know, I was laying in bed, and I keep telling the story. I was laying in bed, you know, about 4 or 5 in the morning, and I was like, you know what? I think we need to move with this record. The Mayweather fight's coming up. I say this thing is catchy. You know what I mean? It has a lot of energy behind it. And I called him. I said, hey, you know what? Let's go full blast on this record. Now, granted, he's released several singles in the past, but this particular record, being the fact that it has no boundaries, shall I say, and music typically that has no boundaries really do well, especially, you know, an event type record. And I was like, man, let's hit the gas pedal on this thing. Let's get it out here. Let's go ahead and start leaking this thing out here. I'm going to go ahead and do my thing on it. And as I started doing that, and, you know, one FSC Radio Raheem, he was one of the radio personalities that got a hold of the record, got a good response from him, amongst some other DJs and some other people that's in our circle, including our street team. And, you know, it just kind of a slow creep movement from there. Now, granted, we're in a early stage mode right now. We don't have a budget yet to put behind it just yet. We're working on that, but we're going to increase the movement even during, before, and after the fight, the Mayweather fight. We're just going to keep our gas pedal on this particular record, man. But I really felt the record has a lot of energy. If somebody's doing any type of boxing workout or any type of training or any type of anything, you know, they can easily gravitate to the record. And that's the thing that I looked at. I looked at the big picture, and the big picture can be mass, can be Vegas. So right now our scope is prepping to getting this out to the masses, and hopefully we'll see some future success from that.
Radio Raheem, what about you? What was your take on it, Radio Raheem? How did you perceive the record? How did it make you feel? How did your fans react to it, and your social media account? How did they react to the record?
I mean, just by playing it a few times, I mean, my response was great in the sense that I do see the big picture of how it can kind of help to increase energy. We still have to, you know, debut it on Monday, which that's when we play all our rap shows. But far as my response and far as my listening to it,
right. So this Monday, you're airing it out then.
Yes, this Monday is going to be aired more, on a more like a heavy type bass.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, tuning in on Monday, go to FSC Radio. Make sure you're tuning in. It's going to be heavy on Monday. Of course, on Mondays, that's when rap is being played. Go ahead, Mr. Raheem.
Yeah, rap and hip hop debuts on Monday. For the most part, I was working towards changing the format because we have a few things that's going on in the background, and it's in a sense that we're going to be incorporating industry artists on our platform. But as far as I love it. I love it. And I know from firsthand in terms of the folks that have been tuning into the station, they will also see the big picture of what this record can actually bring out in terms of on any perspective or scale as far as motivating you.
And I like for me on my end, when I was listening to the record, of course, I was sitting there shooting the film. And again, if you want to go back, you can see some of the interviews and you can see some of the film that I have shot for Mr. Go Get It. And when I heard the record myself, I was like, man, it really is. It's gonna get branded to your brain, and then when you hear the intro to the song, every time you hear that intro, you're gonna expect it to be that song. And if it's not that song, I'm joking. If it's not that, you're kind of like, wait, hold on, what? It's so all in all, like I love the record too. It really is appealing to the masses of people. And again, it's something that's going to bring you up towards your beat. So like again, if you're driving to your work or if you're going somewhere, like because a lot of people they listen to trap music anyway when they're on their way to work. It's that motivation, that trap motivation. I think Young Jeezy and Thug Motivation, Can't Ban the Snowman kind of thing. I think this kind of gives you that. That was when music started becoming motivational for me anyway. And then so I think that kind of rhythm, this kind of style of music that Mr. Go Get It is doing gives you that kind of feel. So it's definitely going to bring you up. Like you can't be sad and listen to this song. You're not gonna have a it's not gonna have a beat. I don't want to keep everyone on here too long. We're going on about an hour here. But I would like to go ahead and let you all speak a little bit more about who you all are and how more people can expect to see us working together. Because again, I know that we spoke about it and what they might expect, and maybe some of the packages that you're looking at probably getting started on within the campaigns of promotion. Radio Raheem, he has the campaign heavy, strong, medium, these kinds of things. Like I don't know exactly what they are, but I would love you all to just take maybe like 5 minutes apiece and speak about some of the things that people could, because again, it's low budget, right? The people that don't have all the money to spend on their craft, they can at least come here and know that they're going to get the bang for their buck. They're going to get that push that they normally wouldn't get with less money or even more money sometimes. So go ahead, please. 5 minutes. Whoever wants to go first, just go ahead. Mr. 5th, you're on mute. Mr. 5th, I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Can you hear me now? I'm good. Okay. Yeah, Mr.5th the DJ. So let's put a little knowledge or a little bit more information out here when it comes to actually breaking a record. And I'm certain Radio Raheem can probably agree with this as well as Montez. When you're breaking a record or doing a leak, you can easily, when it comes to budget, get into 5 figures real quick, real fast, especially depending on the market region that you're trying to target. In case of this Mr. Go Get It record, this is a song that's boundaryless. The budget for this leak could easily reach $50,000 just on a leak. Where there's various radio stations, various promotional entities, street campaigns, which that's what I do. As part of the things that I do, featured acts, radio campaigns, FM, and online. So you can very easily be, 50 grand in about 7-8 months. Before it's over with, you can be six figures, 150,000 easily. There's some of the things that we do on the low end here at Vertigo. One is we actually have a leak where we can actually do an email blast to all the DJs and A&Rs in our campaign, which range from 3,000 to 4,000. If you go on to vertigo.com, which I bring the flyer up to give people a good vision of what it is, and basically it's Vertigo, VIRDIKO.com. You can log on to that and you can see the DJ to artist platform network that we have. Unlike DatPiff, Live Mixtape, Spinrilla, et cetera, your music will go up on that platform and get blasted out to all the DJs and A&Rs. And there are some independent record labels and investors as well. And that being said, it goes directly into a particular DJ's email account. And once you go on to Vertigo, or once you hit that link, whether your phone or your email, you download that song, you'll see off to the right-hand side all the DJs or whoever may be that's giving comments on that record. Once you make that comment, then you download the song. During that process, or after that process is done, it goes directly to the artist. Now, that's the minimum that we do is like $400. And I think that's a very small amount for an artist to actually see what DJs think and people think about their record without them having to go travel all over the country, or without them having to go on all these social media sites, hunt down all these DJs. We can actually do it within a 2-shot blast. Also, if that particular artist happens to see good activity, and you can go look at Mr. Go Get It. He has several records on Vertigo that's doing outstanding numbers. I think he has this one called FTB, and last time I checked, it was about 1,000 DJs that gave him responses back. That's 1,000 DJs that you can't just go in your particular city or drive in a 200 or 300 mile radius to get to me. You actually got those responses direct. And what that does is that tells you what gauge and what level of investments that you can put into that record. You know what I mean? That tells you can go red light, green light, yellow light. And we're only talking $400, you know what I mean, which is pennies. There's some also things that me and Montez are going to be doing that's probably $100. That's even cheaper than that. That's going to involve some things where it's going to be artist to DJ relations via social media, etc. That can also help get the word out, but more intuitive into conversation, or intuitive to being direct or socially directly contacted to the rest of the world, visually opinionated. But to add to that, if an artist gets past that point, then we start talking about street campaigns. We start talking about going on the road and stuff like that. But before you do all that, that is one platform that over here on our end that we could bring to the table that doesn't even cost over $1,000. Is actually less than $500 just to get a feedback, from DJs. And I think that's overwhelmingly important. And if Radio Raheem's not a part of Vertigo, definitely we want to make sure that you're on there so you can be in Vertigo, so you can have a clear perspective of what we all do and what the network brings. There's a lot of great DJs on there. The president of Vertigo is Big Daddy the DJ, aka his name is Kevin Netters. He's the president, real good friend of mine, great guy. He's one of the top 5 DJs in the state of Dallas, Texas. He's well known. He plays all genre music. He's an open gentleman, and he created this platform about 5 or 6 years ago. And I bought right into it because it's directed to artists to DJ relations, in which I run that department. So yes, to add to that and to finish that, yeah, that's what we do. We bring that to the table. And to end of that, before we fan out, you can also contact Mr.5th the DJ via any social media, Mr.5th the DJ, and that's MR, the numeral 5, the DJ, whether Twitter, IG or Facebook. Either one of those platforms are fine. My email is mr.5th the DJ at gmail.com. If any artists want to email me their record for me to kind of give a brief review. Also, I do free listening sessions. I probably do them maybe once every 2 weeks. It doesn't cost you nothing. It's in amongst of maybe 8 to 10 to 20 people at a time. We just have a get together powwow, and some of our street team members, we get together and do that. So, but to elaborate on what you said, yes, those some of the things we do bring to the table directly on the low end for independent artists.
And Radio Raheem, tell them, please. Again, a brief. Give us again a synopsis. And again, like I said, with these films, they're going to be chopped down. So if they haven't watched the full thing, you're going to hear the full thing anyway. Just go ahead and tell them a little bit again what it is that you do, some of the services they could look forward to, and how it might help their musical career.
Okay, from the perspective of FSC Radio, we are working on plans that's going to be done on particularly the on the radio platform, that being a light, medium, high in terms of advertisement campaign. From the artists being able to post their video on basically on our website, or as well as I would say be able to post the video on our website, or if they have like a 30 to 60-second commercial they want to air out via the various platforms that we're on, TuneIn, Streama. I think it's about 10 different streaming platforms that we receive, passerbys. I mean, just people browsing is about like 200. But in terms of listening hours, it's way past 1,000 listening hours in terms of folks that are tuned in, that are interacting with the station, whether they be dedicated listeners that are following us, from listeners who are just, passing the site. And, that's basically as far as on the light, medium to heavy what we'll be offering. But it's still in the workings. We're still tweaking things because we're trying to tweak it around as far as the playing of industry artists on the platform, as well as we may have some talk shows that's on the platform as well.
And so, I guess, ladies and gentlemen, again, this is what the channel's about. It's about what's going on inside of my life. Some of the things that are going to help you go forwards, because it's helping me go forwards. Me working with Radio Raheem, me working with Mr.5th the DJ, Godiac, DJ Bare Knuckles, working with C-Dub, working with lots of people. It's really, networking is key. Networking is something that's going to take you to that next level. And for me, personally, I found these gentlemen here online. Never met them in person until I actually went out and started doing. That's the biggest thing. You got to get out and start doing. And they gave you lots of options you can do. Just now you got to choose to go do it. I hope that you all have enjoyed this set-in. And again, I know that we're going to be doing this again, and it's probably going to be quite often. No, probably it will be often. All you need to do is subscribe to the channel. You're going to keep up. Subscribe to these gentlemen here. They're going to be working on their YouTube as well. If you're not looking for YouTube content, maybe you want to just get the marketing aspects of things. All you got to do is look in the description box, and their links are going to be placed there. You click it, and you tell them what you want, and as long as you've got everything lined up, your P's and Q's put in a row, pretty sure whatever you're needing done is going to be taken care of. Do you all have anything else before we close on out of here?
I'll go first. I meant to add to Mr.5th. I'm definitely we'll definitely collaborate and do something in terms of what you're talking about. I'm definitely on board. as well as for folks to reach the station. For Twitter, it's FSC Radio. For Facebook is also FSC Radio. If they need to get their submissions in, it's a minimum. I'm sorry, max. It's a max of 3 tracks in MP3 format, along with your bio, your album cover, and your social links, sent to fscloudradio@gmail.com. And just title the subject, music submission, and we'll get to you right away.
All right. To add to that, once again, we'll be doing some future networking and probably some business together with FSC Radio. Obviously, along with Montez.com, I see a great marriage in the making that's being built right here in the especially in terms of working with artists and trying to get them out there. And I think to add to some of the things that we were saying, the biggest struggles that the artists have is the fear of talking to people and being the fact that they don't know what to do and how to do it and when to do it. I think we provide a great platform for independent artists to be a little bit more at ease. And based on, and if everybody's watching, based on the gentlemen, including myself, we're very easy to deal with. It's not like we're going to look down on you like that. Whatever process that you need help on from one of the 3 of us, or in a collaboration of all of us, we can help you go through that process, even on a budgetary level. So to add to that, I like to kind of close my end out. You can reach me at Mr.5th the DJ via Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. There's several pages on Facebook. Mr.5th the DJ ATL, Mr.5th the DJ Muscle Mixtape, or Mr.5th the DJ period. Social media, once again, Mr.5th the DJ via Twitter and Instagram. My email address is Mr.5th MR period number 5 TH the DJ at gmail.com. If you want to email any music that you want us to just give a listen to, me and my team, we're more than well open to that. So to close that out, guys, I think it was a great marriage today. I'd like to send a big shout out to all the listeners, all the independent artists. Make sure that you tune into either one of these guys, FSC Radio, Montez.com, Mr.5th DJ via any social media, and we'll be happy to help you guys get on your way.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're coming to a close now. I hope that this has been able to excel you and bring you up. As I always say, this is what I do it for. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Montez from itsmontez.com. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. If you don't do that, you can't keep up. Go.